Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. First, we know that Alhamdulillah, Ramadan should be here. We'll be ready for Tuesday, I think. Is that what people are, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. The first day of fasting is supposed to be Tuesday, I think. I think that's what they were saying.
Well,
That's what people are saying, but they asking me, so it's like some people don't know.
Oh,
okay. Well, you know, like
I've gotten emails from the folks.
we can
back
make
home.
it easy on ourselves. I mean,
right.
since it's always up in the air. This is
right.
one of those, whatever it is, periods of time when, so we'll just, we'll prepare ourselves for Tuesday, inshallah. In the meantime, it's kind of been a little change or upgrade for Ramadan. I mean, after all, we were sitting around here letting the environment control what we, you know what I mean, what we do. Bump that, and what we was thinking now is that what we'll do for Ramadan is, first of all, we'll have food here every night, inshallah, during Ramadan. And we did it year before last, didn't we, where we had big, did we have spaces between everybody last year?
No.
Or was that for Eid? That was for Eid, we didn't do food, right?
Yeah, because it wasn't like a lot of people.
Right, because we did that outside, right?
We did the Eid.
Well,
We
we
did outside,
served
yeah.
outside, but I
Okay,
think
yeah,
we
but
prayed in here. Yeah, okay.
no, here's what we got planned. Okay, for whatever we do with food, we will have food every night, inshallah. And hopefully it'll be 10 or 20, no more than 30 people or what. I mean, you know. But we will separate. Say like if we got those tablecloths, we might have 4 people or 2 people in each one. We got plenty of tablecloths, so we'll get plenty of tablecloths. The next thing is about the food. We was thinking of having feeding the community like we haven't done it in a while. That either on Saturday and Sunday we would do it, or at least one day that's not raining, you know, for the community. So we'll be prepared for that. And we'll just try to choose a day that's not raining. Usually on Saturday or Sunday you're gonna get a day where you can do that. If enough food build up, you know, from, say we only have 5 or 10 people here and the food build up, we just roll with it, you know. So that's the idea for Ramadan. We'll deal with the Eid when we get closer to that. But for now, we would just say the general information points toward Tuesday, you know, that we would start the fasting on Tuesday. Whatever happens, we'll have food ready, with, inshallah, for Tuesday. And as we said, we'll have food, whatever builds up during the week, we have an overflow. And there's one person that does it professionally, and they want to contribute to, you know, I guess they got a lot of outflow and very few, they're not at certain special places anymore, like IAC, they used to get that whole show ready, you know, and that's a big crew they would have out there. So, we was thinking, might as well not go to waste, you know what I mean? And so, that's the basic idea. The same Ramadan program. Tomorrow we can bring the tables up, and I'll go out shopping and get the, burners and all of that stuff, and tablecloths. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll get all that stuff that we have to have on hand, and probably we will prepare something just in case. Well, we'll go ahead. I know since we'll trust that the people will get here on time, you know. And if not, we'll do something to feed the people. Even if we just have one thing ready, you know what I mean? That'll fill up everybody till they get here. So that means Tuesday night we would start, inshallah. We would have Taraweeh, and we would also, but technically tomorrow night we could have Taraweeh prayer, you know. And then the night of when Ramadan is over, we won't pray that night. So prepare for Ramadan. So tomorrow we can clean out the refrigerators down there. I think that one over in the corner still works. We never plug it up, right?
Yeah, I started, pretty much cleaned it out.
You already have.
I just need to do the rubber part, just get,
Yeah,
pretty much.
good. Just a little bleach, wipe over a bleach, knock that off. I could bring some of the bleach tomorrow, clean the material. So both of them down there are working.
I didn't plug it up because I had cleaned the other one, so it should work, I don't.
Well, we'll plug it up today when we leave. We'll plug it up. It's been cleaned, right? So all we have to do is just a little bleach, just wipe it down one more time, and we'll go with that. So that means whether it works or not, we'll have at least 2 refrigerators inside. We got a lot of stuff over in the other refrigerator that we can start rearranging. We'll have room to do whatever we need to do because we got the refrigerator in the kitchen. We'll strip it down. We have at least 1 refrigerator in the other room. Yeah, we'll be fine with whatever happens, inshallah. Okay, so that means, inshallah, Ramadan Mubarak very soon coming our way. And so we'll get started. So today we'll be tomorrow we'll go out and acquire all the stuff we need. Burners, tablecloths, inshallah, napkins, paper towel, all that stuff we'll get tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. Some of the flyers we were going to do, we'll wait till a week into Ramadan, to have all that, the other stuff that we was going to have ready. Okay. So, that takes care of our Ramadan. And Ramadan, definitely, at least Saturday or Sunday, or maybe both, according to how much food we have on hand. according to how much food we have on hand. But we'll be ready for the community, you know, inshallah. And we'll do that at least one day a week and maybe two. You know, in fact, even if we get packed up with stuff, we could have a 5 or 6 o'clock serving the food outside, you know, even during the week. It's according to how it load up. And according to if something is looking like it's got a couple of more days, we'll get on out there and get rolling, inshallah. Okay. And in fact, that's a better feeling than cutting short. Might as well go on out and do it, you know what I mean? Then, you know, and it's good. Sometimes, right, people call and they pose the question, well, what's for this year? We're going for it, you know, instead of, oh, we're going to cut back and, no, it's Ramadan. It only comes once a year, and this is a time where you can, when you build up them sins over the year, this is time to kind of ease them off a little bit. Now I want to talk about, what did we call this, project management or something?
Yeah, and organization.
Okay. This project has been a pet project in our mind and in discussion for years. And we've been waiting for the right time to do it. So I'll try to bring us up on basically where we are now. And we'd always talked a lot about homeless shelters and what have you. And we always wanted to do it where it might really make some impact. So right now, we're putting together a little guidebook for homeless shelters. I mean, you know, well, it's our guidebook, you know, or for unhoused people, whatever we call them. But this is the pet project we've been working toward all the time. And now it just so happens, alhamdulillah, at Ramadan, it all just, okay, it's time to get, so I'll just outline a little bit about what we're thinking about and try to move right along. So, for our homeless project, the way we want to start it off is acquire a military base, closed military base, of course, and then right away begin to staff it with staff, with programs, or getting it ready to bring the people in. And we want to do the first one in California. And the first one is a kind of a pilot project, you know, because the way we hope that this will go is that America is in deep need right now. And those people who are downtrodden, those who are forgotten, you know what I mean, those who are set aside, they don't have, in fact, they look down on now, when it's really a need, almost more than the people in the ability to drive through or drive past miles and miles of homeless shelters. I mean, to me, it's like when I would go to Soweto and go every big city, Johannesburg or what have you, they have big neighborhoods like Soweto, you know, corrugated roofs if they got it lucky, patch cloth work on the outside, you know, that type of stuff. That stuff is right here in America. We don't see as big of homeless shelters here, DC, New York, because the weather is, you know, it gets cold in the winter. But California, y'all have seen some of those things on TV about LA and the Bay Area. They got, hey man, okay, we already know what they got. So right now what we're studying is basically homeless shelter organization and management. You know, we're beginning to write on that. And what we plan to do is, like we wrote all of those As-Sabiquns on movement before, we're already, you can see, already taking notes and preparing ourselves to write articles on a regular basis on how to do this, how to think about it, and how to approach it, and what type of attitude and have, and about the people, what their real problems are, what their self-esteem, you know. Part of your shelter, a part of your place should be, it should be like a camp to get rejuvenated and rebuilt. You know what I mean? If the society is built to tear down people, we should structure ourselves to build up people. And we got ayats to go along with it. We've been who is better in speech than one who calls men to allow work righteous deeds and said, I am one who bow in Islam. All of those are the same ayats that we've been working on and repeating, and all of it coming together. Well, now it's come together at this time. So now we want to implement these things. Before we were talking about it, or whatever we've been doing, building up ourselves, getting ready, that's technically what we've been doing all of these years. Since the so-called decline of all of these things that we see around us, we have been wasting time. We've been cruising, it looked like we've been cruising, but no, we've been on this project. So homeless shelter organization and management, how to organize and lay out homeless shelter. We might even do a little joke book to ourselves, organization and management of homeless shelters for dummies, you know, something like that. I mean, we wouldn't print it out there, but you never know. We would print it ourselves and put it out, you know. Has anybody ever read any of those such and such books for dummies?
I've gone through them, I haven't read one.
Nah, I haven't read one.
They're not that bad. This is my opinion.
They're way more detailed than it seems. You can't really be a dummy and read one. That's what I'm saying.
Right. No, it's actually, whatever it is, like I read management organization, I read all that stuff all the time. It does have some good points. Of course, if they have 100 points, you can strip off 90 of those and stick to 10 basic steps, you'll be all right. Okay. So in order to do that, we need staff. So we'll be developing the type of people that we think might be helpful for staff, you know. Of course, there's camp commanders and all of that. If we do a camp first, before we do our own, we have property in California that we have to get back from the government. Don't worry, we'll get it. But even if we have to run a practice run on ourselves at our property, that's what we're doing during this period. If we do it on our own property, we'll have a smaller, place, but sufficient to get us practiced up for what we want to do. Because when you talk about managing a whole camp, it's doable, but it takes a little bit of thing. You have to do some real recruiting, and at first it'd be unpaid staff. So you may have to get a few colonels and captains, you know what I mean? People that are familiar with camp management and organization. Then you have to work on upgrading their thinking, because it's not a military camp, right? It's a camp for people that needs rebuilding. The Army takes you and cut off all your hair, take your uniform off, and they make you now here to do, so they train you what you're supposed to get ready to do, go and kill people.
They break you down.
They break you down and reconstruct you just the way they want. We want to have a program where it's to rebuild the human being. That the human being may come there with low self-esteem, they weigh and measure themselves in a lowly way, but when they leave us, if they ever want to leave, they will be on a human level. That means that we want to take people who are downtrodden, the throwaway people, discarded, right? And help them see a purpose for why they're here, and maybe what they want to do. But first of all, there won't be any major opposition to this, except maybe the government may not feel comfortable with Negroes doing stuff like that. I would go so far as to say they definitely won't, because they look at it like, our country's falling apart. They're gonna build an army. We take niggas and reshape them, reform them, run around the yard wild, and they're ready to do anything. The niggas is up to something. That's the way boss man thinks. You can't help for him thinking the way he thinks. Of course, we'll try to incorporate one of the main focuses is ex-military personnel. Why? Because 22 of them are dying every day. Can you imagine? And ain't nobody, they recount that, but they're not all